People, deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Big up you lot on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. Take part in the live chat. And make sure your notification bells are on and you're actively browsing, people. Now, I'm pretty sure I brought a couple of transfer videos out. Again, this is a chance for us to have a joke and a laugh and speak about Arsenal. I know all the other teams are signing players and we need to be patient and whatnot, but Gyokeres and Sesko's dominating things. The Athletic have come out with a think piece in relation to Arsenal's incomings and outgoings and spoken on what Gyokeres, Sesko, Rodrygo, Anthony Gordon, Leroy Sane, so on and so forth. The list goes on and on and on and on. Zubamendi as well. Let's just get things through. I think Zubamendi's done. I don't know anything. I just think it's done, and we'll have to wait for, we're led to believe, for some reason, till July to see what's going on. But we'll get into that, man. Junior, appreciate you, my guy. I don't know who DJ is, but I'm going to put that down to a typo, man. Smash the like button, as the man said. Harrison has said, how's it going, man? We need to stop flirting with other clubs and get our business done. Amen. Now, for me, I try and approach things and look at things logically. Now, I don't know Mikel Arteta. I don't know Andrea Berta. I don't know anybody that makes decisions in terms of incomings and outgoings. Whether the players do come in, whether the players are good enough, that's another thing. But logically, they're probably working in the background on stuff. They owe us. They owe us plus a bit of tax from last summer. But then when I put my fan cap on, you're seeing other teams, man. Liverpool at the summit of the Premier League. You hear Slot actually tried to persuade Ryan Cherky on the topic of Ryan Cherky. Manchester City seem to be signing him and a bunch of others. Manchester United, who are in the pits of the Premier League at the moment, they're having the best of the rest approach for Premier League proven players. Whether it works out or not at this moment in time, if they do sign Mbeumo and Cunha, bro, that's a good look. And I want to have one of the best attacking lineups or attacking front threes in the Prem. I don't think we have that. Like United, you could argue Amad Diallo, assuming it's like this, Amad Diallo and Mbeumo, Cunha, that's better than ours. City's are probably is better than ours. At this moment in time, Liverpool's better than ours. Newcastle's better than ours. Obviously, Saka's a big dog. Like, no one can get onto Saka. But beyond the others, you're like, oof. And again, man, you know, there's a lot of players at our club and many a club that are going to be linked. Many are, you know, few are actually going to happen, but it presents a talking point. But we do need to stop flirting and get things done. Linking everyone but buying no one, as usual. Arsenal way of doing transfers. I'm used to that. Keep the faith, man. We didn't even need Zubi because Rice isn't a real 8. We need to sign Rodgers or Rangers in the 8 and Eze in the 10. Arteta is getting it all wrong again. He'll have to prove you wrong. I'm cool with Zubamendi signing. It's almost like a Jorginho-esque replacement, and I'm cool with Partey. I do think next summer is probably where we sign a midfielder or two, and I'm saying that with Partey's new deal. If he leaves, better damn hope we sign a midfielder. Yeah, you can tell me Marino can play up front as well as in midfield. Kai Havertz is an option. You know, Wanyeri's a young option, and there's technically on the books whether he's here or not, Fabio Vieira. But if Partey does not sign a new deal, you need to have 2 centre mids walking through the door. And to be honest with you, I think we need an 8 and a 6 in the next year or so, people. So yeah, man. I hear what you mean about Rice. I disagree. I'm cool with Rice in the 8 role. He's not a traditional 8. He's not one that's going to unpick low blocks. I just think we keep Rice, but we need to add another tool to the toolbox, man. I don't want to sign too many midfielders because of Max Dolman. Dalman will be all right, man. The man's 15, 16. We need to sign players, man. Like, if he's good enough, he'll make it. He has nothing to worry about, man. I'm not feeling Zubamendi. I'm cool with Zubamendi. I don't think, you know, if we sign Zubamendi, Sesko, for example, and Nico Williams, I'm happy with that. I think that's good business. But it's one where time will tell. I can't necessarily, well, to be honest, by default, anyone who plays up front for Arsenal Football Club, smash the like button, mods, get on that, does upgrade us. But I don't think we're going to sign anybody at the point where we're like, yeah, today you've upgraded us. It's more of a hindsight thing. Obviously, you look at Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice was that. David Raya has been that, but people are ooming and ahhing, myself included. Benjamin White, nobody was saying that. I'd say the exception is for me is Timber. I was gassing up Timber when we signed him, but nobody really saw that. And it depends, man. Do we go out and spend mad money and get the blockbuster signings? Do we go for the hidden gems that need a platform like what you've seen Liverpool do over the years? Do we do a bit of all of that? Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. You want stars, you want big money additions, you want all of those kind of things there, but just get the right players, man. There's many ways of going around it. Whatever way you shape it, just get me my striker. I actually feel the striker is one thing, but we need goals from that left-hand side. And let me know your thoughts. We're going to get into the Sesko and Gyokeres thing, people. I've got a video coming out with Harry. I need to update it. I recorded it just before now. So admittedly, I'm a bit spent on the Sesko, Gyokeres thing and whatnot. You lot let me know your thoughts in relation to that. But if we consider the fact that, let's just consider for this, that Gyokeres doesn't exist, right? If you've got Sesko, Saka, and Nico Williams, those are those two going to be game changers from minute one, or they're going to need a bedding in period and it's more of a hindsight thing? Now, I think every player deserves that because they deserve a chance to adapt and all of those things. Where Arsenal to the fans have shot themselves in the foot is, we need to win now. Like, we needed to win yesterday. We need to deliver today. So if you lot think that these players, if we get to another semi-finals and we have half chances like in the second leg against PSG, we can do a thing. If we have a season now where maybe we look to turn those 4 defeats into 2 or less, you get where I'm going with it, or the 4 draws into 7, we need players that can do that. I think where you look at Sesko, maybe even Nico Williams, but where you look at Sesko, I think many fans would have been cool if you did that, I would say in hindsight, last year at the very minimum, probably 2 years or so before. Now you're in the win now mode. And I do think as a football club, we need to go against the cuff. I am not against young players with the potential and all of that kind of stuff, people. But that's one reason I like Gyokeres. It goes against what we're kind of doing about Stars of Tomorrow. He's 27, not 77. But so he's probably got 5 years, but he's ready right now. What you see is what you get. Whether there's an exchange rate that's gonna apply from the Portuguese league and into the Premier League and result in him scoring more or less goals, I don't know, but it goes against the cuff. What you see is what you get. Like, you could argue there is going to be another Sesko, there's always going to be players. So is it a thing where you sign Gyokeres, Sesko goes somewhere else, he becomes a great player, you think, oh, what could have been? Both signings have their pros, their cons, and fundamentally both are a risk. You can't convincingly say Gyokeres is going to bang, even though I want him. If we don't get Gyokeres, I actually am very cool with Sesko. I can't say that's 100% going to bang, but everything's a risk. And whether it's Gyokeres or Sesko or Ollie Watkins or whatever, we've seen the other side. Not doing something is a risk. Sometimes when you're so risk averse, the player has to fit the system. It's got to make too much sense. You don't sign no one, which makes no sense, man, if that makes sense. DJ, I have a feeling we won't sign a winger. Obviously, I want a striker. We've been talking about central midfield. Need to sort out the goalkeeping situation. I think I wouldn't cry if we signed a defender or two, but I won't say no one's talking about it because Arsenal, we've been talking about it. But we need that left-hand side needs to get goals. Like, that left-hand side needs to get goals. If you look at the last 3 years, so from 2022, 23 to this point, over those 3 years, yeah, who's really done it? It's been Bukayo Saka. And then at a push, it's probably Kai Havertz. But we've seen Kai Havertz goal scoring fluctuate. We've seen Marino go through a purple patch. Some seasons, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard have brought goals. Who's really, at this moment in time, who's scoring the goals for our football club? It's Bukayo Saka. That's the one we bet on now is going to be up there. Beyond that, who else are you looking at? Maybe Declan Rice because of the 8 and him doing what he's doing. I actually feel Kai Havertz, that's probably testament to Kai Havertz and damning on the club that I'm saying that, because he has scored some goals for us and shouldered the burden. Whether he is the striker, I don't know. And for the club, if you're going to have, at least for the first 6 months, if Kai Havertz and Sesko are going to alternate, you lot have made your bed, so you got to lie in it. And as much as I can have frustrations or praise, I'm accepting of a lot of things in the sense that I can't change it. Arteta's not going nowhere. The man has signed a 15 million a year deal. Bert has just come in. We have to recognize what Arteta demands from a striker and all the other facets beyond just goal scoring. If we sign Sesko, as much as I might not think it's win now mode, but you've made your bed, you've got to lie with these things. You've got to get stuff over the line, man. So I don't know. I've got low expectations for this transfer window and even lower expectations for the league. It's obvious things are going exactly as it always does. They're going to sign a couple of waste players. I will say we have to give the club the luxury and the right. The window's not closed yet. I know we need signing in early. I'll give the club even more brownie points if the Gyokeres, the Sesko, Zubamendi, this one, that one. If they arrive before pre-season, that would be the goal. But I can't blame you for that because the club have, whether they've tried to do stuff or not, they've shot the fans' trust. You didn't have the summer last year that you needed to. You signed Neto and Sterling. We know how that worked out. Many people didn't have many expectations of Sterling, and unfortunately, it's been disappointing. January, we know what we needed to do. All right, you didn't want to sign anyone. You thought there wasn't value on the market. You wanted to keep the powder dry and all that stuff. All right, cool. We're here now. I'm not expecting us to spend 300 million quid, but we know that PSR and UEFA things are not an issue. Just get the right players. If you can get the right player for £10 or 50 million, make it happen, man. What's this Nico Williams hijack? Tranquillo, we're going to get into it, man. Tranquillo, just cool, man. Just cool. The rave's just started, man. What's the chances we lose Luis Skelly to Madrid? I mean, Madrid scare everyone. I guess there's some chance because he hasn't signed a new deal. I don't know anything, but I wouldn't be worried. You know, he's had a great season. I reckon he signs a new deal. But until the Lewis Kellys, the Wanyeris, the Sakas, the Salibas, the whoever's in contract talks, until they sign, who knows? Is Arteta holding us back by sticking with certain players? Potentially, yeah, because he's got to be cruel to be kind. He's made his bed. He's got to lie in it. If we just want to be a team that gets to semi-finals, finishes second, flirts with it kind of thing, we've got enough. But you see, if you want to get over the line, whether you think you can get to semi-finals or not, you need killers. We need to know who is scoring these goals. Whether it's double figures, whether it's 8 in the league, 8 in the league, 7, 8, 9 in the league, all comps, you've got double figures. Too many people Saka is shouldering the burden too much, man. Skelly is an Arsenal man. He said in interviews he can't wait to be important for the club. That's true, but again, you can't take words for gospel. Shamar, big up yourself, Killy. What moves have we made this window? None. So many moves by rivals where we are not even sure about who we want. I hear you, yeah, but at the same time, are we really, is that really the case? We really don't know who we want, whether these guys work out or not, whether we get them or not, I don't know. But really and truly, do you really think the club don't know who they want? Clearly, they like Sesko. Clearly, they like Zubamendi. Whether they get Nico Williams in this one, I think the club have identified talents. Whether they get them or not, I don't know. Bradley Bacola's good player, man. Going to need a lot of work, which again goes against the Bradley Bacolas, the Seskos, these kind of guys. We're kind of in win now mode, and I feel that is a tax that's going to be applied to these young players, young developing players that I don't think's fair to them. But we've made our bed. We got to lie in this, man. Arsenal seem to be the only club that's afraid of stockpiling talents and watch our fans. And our fans need to stop pocket watching. Zubamendi is going to get bullied in the Prem. Why are they going for him? We need beasts in midfield. I don't think he's going to get bullied, but fair enough. Miles Lewis-Skelly will get a new deal, shown great promise this season, and I think he'll get the deal his performances deserve. But if I'm him, I want 100k a week. If I'm his agent, bro, you got to at least be getting 60, 70. I'm 18. Sign a 4 or 5 year deal. You keep doing what you're doing in a matter of months, boy, renewals. Look at how often Saka's there's always 18 months, and then we're like, oh, Saka needs a new deal, Saliba needs a new deal. As much as I love the club, football's a business. You got to leverage this. You've got to leverage this. Big up Richard, man, the voice of reason. Does our fan base need to be put in timeout? It feels like some of these shows, everyone's panicking and windows just open. Breathe, folks. Read updates from tier 1 sources and watch this space. By all means, I always say the one luxury I'll give the club, you got to the end of the window, innit? Every day that goes past, of course, I'm going to be asking, oh, what's going on here? Like, again, for me, brownie points if we do things in pre-season. And we can be frustrated and whatever, but they'll have that right. But make that window close, and I don't see a striker. I don't see a winger. I don't feel better about our depth. I don't feel better about our starting 11 quality. As I keep saying, these lot have made their bed. They got a lie in it. Zero faith, bro. It's already going as it always does. We haven't done anything yet. Tranquillo, man. I hear you, but calm down, people. And I'm not saying calm down because we're going to go sign Messi and that, but like, whether you're angry or not, yeah, take a step back. Remove your anger or your calmness. Like, is it logical on the 3rd of June to be going, oh, what's going on? Bearing in mind the window closes September the 2nd. And again, whether the players are good enough, whether they sign the right guys, do we really think Berta's not working? Do we really think stuff? And even Arteta, I'm not even trying to back the guy because you've made your bed, you got to lie in it. He's quite diplomatic, or historically he's been quite diplomatic and blasé and PR-y where it comes to transfers. I'm not saying I'm accepting of anything, but he's been very bullish towards, I'd actually say January to this period onwards, but in the last month or week, like my man's talking about goosebumps and Bert's going to do this. We're going to have a big window. We need this, we need that. Now, if I put myself in Arteta's shoes, now, obviously I don't know all the other things, but logically speaking, yeah, bearing in mind, I don't know for internal pressure, but external pressure is going to be a thing if Arsenal don't get over the line. And man are getting angry already about lack of signings. Why are you going to come out and give that bullish chat if you're not confident that certain things are going to be hit? And the one thing I would say with Berta, again, never had a conversation. One thing that's annoyed me, you don't know me, I'm a pretty reasonable guy. Like, for example, Joe Bloggs that plays as a striker. You want Joe Bloggs, you've been talking to him, you want him, all right, cool. For whatever reason, if my man doesn't sign, go and find. My problem with Arsenal has always been random Joe Bloggs don't want to sign for whatever reason. You've scouted him. He's the one you want. Random Joe Bloggs don't want to sign. We do the we tried thing. There's no one else on the market. Again, I've never had a conversation with Mikel Arteta. Well, I've been in a room with Arteta. Why? With Arteta, I've never had a convo with Arteta, with these guys. But one thing I think we struggle to do is have an ability to pivot. Look at what happened last summer. I'm seeing an ability to pivot. Now, I would actually love a reality where you sign Sesko and Gyokeres, or you've got your prime striker and someone entering the peak. But that's something I haven't seen. All right, you're trying to dot I's and cross T's for Sesko or Gyokeres, whatever. So we're ready to move in whatever angle. So yeah, man, let's see what's going on. We need to completely revamp the scout. Sorry, we need to completely revamp the recruitment department. Berta isn't enough. By God's grace, MLS gets a long-term deal, man. We got a lot to, and again, I can't feel sorry for Bert because he's not an idiot. He knew the role he was walking into and everything, but he's not gonna sleep a wink. Moderators, you lot are violating. Big up to you lot. We've got 45 likes so far. How have you not got 100 mods? Come on. Big up to everyone who's hit the like button before. So yeah, man, he's got a lot to do. Arteta's signings are awful. He should leave that work to Berta. He can't be anything. Now, that's not fair, is it? Like, I'm not here to back Arteta. Some of the signings have been duds. Williams, Sterling, there's been duds. You can't always say, oh, they do signings and whatnot, but then you praise the ones that work. But that's not really fair. The attacking signings, I'm looking very funny at Mikel Arteta because we need to see stuff. Our best attackers or people that have been the best arguably haven't been people you've bought. You didn't buy Martinelli when he had the 15 odd goals. You didn't buy Saka. Fair enough. You did buy Trossard. Kai Havertz, you bought him to play in midfield. Here we are. Marino, here we are. Odegaard, 30 mil, it worked out, but that's not really fair. Like Gabriel Magalhaes, he signed him. Zinchenko worked for a point. Obviously, we evolved. These things happen. There's several. It's not really fair on that. But what I want to see is the signings that are right for Arsenal and not necessarily Arteta. I know that's hypocritical because the manager needs the players that he needs, but I think we need players that are capable of multiple systems rather than over specifics, if I'm honest with you. And I just feel generally, maybe I'm reaching a bit, but if let's just say we got a 20-man squad, would it be illogical to think, because there's times, obviously, Arteta, we micromanage and we play a certain way. Maybe of a 20-man squad, if we had 2 to 3 players that go against the grain, like a winger that's a lot more direct and not what Arteta wants, maybe that gives us an unpredictability about us. And I think that helps you when you get to the latter stages in the Champions League. Well, to be fair, in the Champions League, PSG, we just needed to score those goals in the first 20 minutes, really. It is what it is, man. The reason why I said this is, I think you mean take a look at Marino. We never needed him. We never needed Calafiori either. I disagree. I think we need Calafiori. I'm cool with Marino. I think we fucked up the summer, though. I'll be honest with you. I think they weren't level raisers. They're squad raisers or squad fillers, and our squad needs a lot more filling than that, man. So yeah, man. Think it's about not doing anything. I think we actually have to get the right profile because not getting the right profile is the same thing as not doing anything at all. It's true, but when you deep it, what is this profile? Like, really and truly, what is this profile? Because I'm sure, if you were to get the best players from Arsenal, like the hand-picked players that get held in high regards, the same goes for City, for Liverpool, for Chelsea, for PSG, for Real Madrid, for Barcelona. You get where I'm going with them examples, All of them teams, they all play different ways. All got different kind of things about them. But I'm pretty sure if you got all the managers of the teams I said are more in a room, there's a couple players that don't necessarily play an Arteta system that he wouldn't necessarily mind. So how far does that go? Of course, to play a system, there's got to be intelligence to play those roles. And, we live in a day and age, that's what managers do. There's got to be a willingness because look at Ousmane Dembele. I'm sure Barcelona fans are probably sat there thinking, right, like, you're running off the ball and doing bare things. We never saw you do that. So there's got to be a willingness and there's got to be the intelligence. But then how far does that go? Surely if you can play football, you can play football. Like if you're a good attacker, you will thrive in a system. Of course, it's down to the manager to sort out certain things and put their attackers or whatever in situations where they can harm an opposition. But I think in this day and age, it's too much on this profile business, which again is hypocritical because we're talking about strikers. The main thing we want from a striker is getting goals, but we have to realize there's other facets. We've seen Gabriel Jesus lead the line. We've seen Kai Havertz lead the line. Marino lead the line. Feels like 20 years ago, but, well, I remember Smith throwing a false 9 in the semi-finals of the European trophy, but we've seen Eddie Nketiah play up front. Lacazette. I exclude Aubameyang a bit because he obviously is clinical, but all of these guys have scored goals, gone through moments, but the only common thing they have is 2 things. They all have played up front at some capacity for Arsenal, and also none of them would be described as clinical. Now, if the only thing Arteta wanted from a striker was to score goals, then they wouldn't play. We need our striker to contribute, but there is also an element of an Arsenal forward or just a striker in today's day and age being a sacrificial lamb, if I'm honest with you, because I do think in hindsight, Gabriel Jesus, like there's got to be like he was like a facilitator up there. Saka enjoyed, Martinelli enjoyed, Odegaard enjoyed. You have to be a bit selfless, like a bit of a battering ram. Like the freedom really is just gonna come from the wide men. Like, do we copy again? You need to learn from others. Maybe we could learn from Liverpool where they had Firmino and 2 clinical wingers. So if you've got your Sesko that might get you 13, 14 goals in his first year and you've got 2 killers on the sides, maybe that's one thing. I think Mikel Arteta could learn from his countryman Luis Enrique in the sense that you saw Osman Dembele playing as a false 9, and I think that Ramos lad is going to be sold, but Ramos is a traditional striker. He's on the bench. If we just look at him being on the bench, he's in the squad. There's that kind of plan B. It's always a learning curve, man. Big up DJ, aka the Sunday League Cafu. You believe them con artists about the amount we have to spend? No, really, because there's always whispers, man. 1 minute it's war chest, then it's, you know, all the rumors always start about war chest. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then if we don't do things, it's Arsenal were wary of finances and the PSR stuff. So I don't know, man. Just get me the right players. We need to sign a winger, though, man. We need to smash the like. As someone said they're from New York. I don't know where the comments gone, but done, though, man. You'll be gaining Merino as a midfield option again as soon as you sign a striker. I mean, he is a midfielder traditionally. I want Sesko because he can shoot from so far with both feet. Arteta is too stubborn. It's his signs. They better deliver. But what about midfield options would you like? What other midfield options would you like that are attainable? I wanted Rangers or that profile, but he seems to be going City, in it. Arsenal very slow inside. Oh, sorry, seen this already. Damn. The energy around Zubamendi reminds me of Rice. We don't believe in quality until they show at the club. I'm not going to lie. I think everybody was gassed about Declan Rice. I don't think that's true hate. I think everyone was gassed about Declan Rice. I think where the issues around Rice came is probably this whole 8 stuff. And to be honest, I'm fully on board with the 8 stuff at this moment. I quite like him in that. Is it really an 8 or is it like an all-action midfield? Because you still have to intercept in both ends. Like, I'm cool with the Rice stuff, but I do think we just need other tools, man. Because against low blocks, right? Like, cool, you've got your strike, like there's a compact defense, you've got your striker occupying the 2 centre halves. So that's one Arsenal attacker. You know, Saka's going to be doubled up against, so he's kind of out of the game. You do have Rice making those forward runs, but how many times can you hit him? We need other options, man. Because coming into this season, this will be the 3rd year of us asking, how do we break down low blocks? We need to find solutions. We knew that going into last year, man. James, shout out the New Yorkers, man. Arsenal get both Gyokeres and Sesko too. Greedy, mate. Greedy. Gyokeres with back to goal is not the one. Eze will do. I can't see us getting Eze, man. Apparently, some ITKs, I don't know. I can't remember the names, and I don't know if they're credible, but they're saying him to Spurs is 90% done. Rice can do it all. You can't limit him to just mopping things up in front of the back 4. I hear that. But for me, Rice, keep doing your 8 thing, but can that be an added component? Can we get Odegaard back to bagging? Can we get goals from the Trossards and the Martinellis in whatever role? And obviously that left-sided upgrade. Can our striker score? Can Saka keep doing what he's doing? Obviously, with the set pieces, the Magalhães and the unlikely quote-unquote goal scorers are going to chip in. We do need goals from all over, but simultaneously, we need cold-hearted killers. And that's something that we've known last year and the year before, really and truly. No excuses. We've needed a striker for years. What's the issue? They've had long enough to prepare. What's the hold up? If it was a new issue the team had, then fine. It's been years. Tired of the BS. I can't blame fans for being tired, man. Gyokeres might work left wing for Arsenal. I'm not on that. I'm not on that, man. I'll hold my hands up. I'm not on that. Arteta end of the season said we need firepower, yet he can't decide between the striker who scored 50+ goals and one who scored 20. Gyokeres is clearly not happening. Not sure why we waste time looking at players who don't fit into our system. Who cares about heading ability, play on the ground? Bro, we live in, and it is a legitimate concern, yeah. And obviously people can improve stuff, but like we live in a day and age where people is trying to be, and I'm not talking for the people that are having balanced conversations. People is trying to be savvy. Like a man could score 1 million goals. Oh yeah, but only one was outside the box, brother. Come on. I'm cool with either one. Bring me Gyokeres, bring me Sesko. Obviously, there's pros and cons. I like Sesko. I agree with the comment I just had on screen in that you would like both in an ideal world. Now, the financial outlay of them two and all the other things we got to do, it's mad. But yeah, man, just bring me one. Just bring me one. The major thing for Gyokeres is it tells me it's more win now mode. And obviously, he's actually cheaper than Sesko. But then again, if whatever I say about Sesko, if you've been scouting this youth for years, and those that work in football gas him up, and technically he's going to be more expensive than Gyokeres, you must believe in him, innit? Yeah, Sesko, you must believe in him. So make it work. Either way, make it work. And don't get it twisted. I still think Arteta needs to evolve our creativity in the final third. Don't know how he does it. He's the coach. I'm not, because I think it's incredibly naive if you slap Rodrygo, even though we're not getting him, Rodrygo and Gyokeres up front, and all attacking issues are solved. We're obviously going to score more goals. Couple of those draws, because scoring goals and putting games to bed isn't the only reason. It's a major factor, but it isn't the only reason we've got 14 draws. And the 2 chances we create a game, exaggeration, a more clinical man could bag. But I think it's extremely naive if you believe that. And I hope I'm wrong. Naturally, it's one less thing to do. I hope that it's a case of just upgrades and we're gone. Yildiz might be cheaper and better than Sesko. I think the Kenlan Yildiz links is just paper talk, if I'm honest with you. Quality player, though. DG, how much could you get for Odegaard? We might be able to recoup the 30-something, but that's it. Ain't nobody would pay 60 million for him. I'm not selling Odegaard. I hear with bring in a replacement and whatnot, but there's several players that need to go before Martin Odegaard leaves. There's several things we need to do, and there's more pressing needs. Why are we going to make things more tougher for ourselves? And pardon me, just in general, it's all fun and games saying sell Tommy. I'm tired of his injury. Sell Zinchenko. Sell Kai Havertz. Sell Jesus for a variety of reasons. Whether these guys are on big wages, have offers, or are not fit at the moment, it's easier said than done. Like, it's fun and games saying flog them, but where's the market? I'm not selling Odegaard yet. If he has another season like next year, then there's something to consider. But we've got so many players that need to come off the book, so much to do. And come on, even if Odegaard was a squad player, even though he's the captain, come on, man. Well, go on, bro. What I'm saying is, pick up yourself, King. I think Sesko suits our system better. Barely anyone translated well from the Portuguese league to the big leagues. I think Sesko will surprise a lot of doubters. I hear it. Pablo Marie, Lokonga, Marquinhos, Vieira. Yeah, he's had some stinky duns, man. But not every, like Sir Alex Ferguson and Wenger, it didn't work. And if you're going to be here for 5 years, there are going to be things wrong. If I was an investment broker or investment banker for 5 years, yeah, and I told you, look, come and invest with me, I've never lost money in 5 years. You're not going to give me your money. And if you did, you're an idiot. You deserve to lose it. That's like someone that goes to the bookies or to the casino saying they never lose. You are going to lose, no matter how much recruitment you do. And I do think we've more signings of work than been duds. But again, we need to stop the foolishness now. We need to stop reinventing the wheel. We need starting level quality. Big up Marcel, DG, my brother, my favorite up. How you been, my killie? I've been good, man. Been a minute since I caught you live. Hope you're blessed. Likewise, don't tell me the Inter Milan result affected you that much. You ain't been here. Smash the likes like Fire and H have said. Big teams are making moves, e.g. Wirtz and Buemo, Cunha, Turkey, while we're stuck at the striker and Zubimendi deal since January. And I must admit, I try and keep a cool head, but you want to be involved in it. Like, it's like being in a party and like, big up the women out there, but it's like being in a party with all your friends. The pretty brown skin babes is on to my brethren. This one's over there, that one's there. And I'm just here like trying to give one girl the eyes. She's not looking. Like, I need to be involved in these signings. I'd love Wirtz, man. And you can't, I mean, every team gets jealous when other people are signing people, but yeah, man. The fact of the matter is signing Havertz has changed our approach to the 2-3 years. That's where I think I don't blame Havertz. I think in line of what you are, Kai, I think you've done well for Arsenal Football Club. The others probably shouldn't have signed him, probably shouldn't have bought him for that fee, probably shouldn't have put him on those wages, and it probably has affected stuff. And ultimately, whether I agree with it or not, a manager likes who he likes. He's clearly fond of Kai Havertz, clearly fond of him, whether we like him or not. He's what he does for the team. So, like I said, he's made his bed. He's got a lie in it. Whoever's in that squad, Arteta, make sure this time next year, I'm talking to you lot, whether you're in London or abroad somewhere, and we're saying what time you lot get into the parade. Well, are you gonna be in Finsbury Park, or are you gonna be outside the stadium? That's all I want to hear. That's what you need to do. DG, you know the saying, our mouth is made to say anything. So bullish talk is good. Just make sure them level raises come in. There you have it, bro. It's been 3 days better. Oh my God, sarcasm. Sesko and Gyokeres be a Jeep, bro. Imagine that. Then I would let the club off and say, forget a left winger. Obviously, I'd want a left winger. But in an ideal world, we have that top striker. We got that deputy that can rotate. We got proper game-changing left winger. Martinelli and Trossard are here doing what they need to do. You got Wanyeri about. You do have the luxury of Kai Havertz and Marino to be utilised in some capacity. Because if there's one thing we've learned last season, if you didn't know already, you need a squad. It's all fun and games in the early days of August where you got one game a week and all of that. And and things like that. Once you start playing 2 games a week, once the champ starts coming in and you got 2 games in 10 days, 2 games in a week, 3 games in 10 days, all the other competitions start colliding. The international break starts messing things up as well, puts more minutes in the legs. People start getting suspended, injuries, loss of form, all of this kind of stuff. We need a squad. And I feel sorry for the players. Whether I rate these players or not, bare of you have been running to the ground. Bare of you. I get the Mbuemo and Cunha potential signings, but that United side still needs a lot and is an utter mess. And off the pitch, we need to stop allowing other fans to gaslight us so easily. It's never going to change, bro. It's never going to change, man. Arsenal fans get triggered very easily. The players we need are very obvious. It's not hard to see. Rodgers, Gyokeres, Eze, tired of this talking. We had 23 years of chatting, seeing is believing, i.e. Havertz, we've seen his crap. Crap is harsh, but shouldn't have bought him. I'm an optimistic kind, but there's a lot of negativity in our fan base. Each day without a concrete update, that negativity increases. It's never going to change, man. That's why I always say, let people think what they think. Make sure the club do what they need to do. You don't win the season at the start of the window, but you lose the league at the end of the transfer window. Just relax, people. And yeah, start as you mean to go on. Make Arsenal with Newcastle French again. Amen. Amen. Hey, big up Strasbourg Steve, man. Knowing Arteta, he'll get Ramos Højlund because he's misunderstood at United. Well, unless that's some Højlund in the academy that we're trying to take from Carrington to Haaland. I don't know, man. I do think there's a player in Højlund, but you made the move to United far too early. You need to go elsewhere, and hopefully that's not my club. Imagine that. A part of me wants it to happen just so we can sit here and make a live stream, but you're going mad. Zubimendi is in the build of Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira has flopped, so why so confident in Zubi? I mean, that's not exactly true, is it? Like, I'm just gonna give Zubimendi a chance, and 2, I've seen forget ability. You mentioned build, yeah. So I'm not going to talk about ability. Santi Cazorla, David Silva, Juan Mata. The list goes on of bare. I know it's not the same profile. Kante, you said build, right? Kante is about 3'2". There's got to be something there. Bernardo Silva, if I haven't said him, there's got to be something there. Bare small men or not really physically imposing. They've all had intelligence. Zubimendi will be okay, man. If he's not, we revisit and the club have to hold their L's in it. But Zubi be fine, man. DG, if the Sterling thing is taking us time to do, we should be worried. What Sterling thing? The manager wanted to buy a second striker for his style of play. What do you mean we shouldn't have bought Kai? Let the manager get his players. Please, man. Armani, please don't do the Arteta sexual stuff, man. Really? Really? We really wanted a second striker. Kai Havertz, yeah, I think he was brought in for his versatility and his ability to play out front. Arteta has said that, said he can actually play out wide, said he can play in midfield. You know in your heart, he brought him to play in midfield. We're at where we're at. And what I would say is, I do think conversations, when people say things like this, yeah, it sounds great. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you lot structure sentences like you lot are sat there with Arteta and knowing like, what do you mean he told her to do this and that? How do you know that? How do you know that? And I don't think we should have bought Kai. This is how I know people don't listen. I've actually backed Kai. I don't think we should have bought Kai. I do think that 65 million could have been utilized elsewhere in the wages. I do think there's a knock-on effect. Equally, I do think Kai Havertz is scapegoat. Is Kai Havertz the most beautiful player to play for this club? No, he's not. But just go back to the start of the stream, man. I don't want to keep going over and over and over stuff, man. Højlund, if we get Ramos, not going to lie, we have to riot. Arsenal fans are at delicate times, man. We need creative centre mids. It isn't rocket science. Every fan would agree. I would like a bit more traditional Arsenal midfielders, but yeah, I promise you United will finish above us next season. I'll take your word for it. I hope you're wrong, though. At this point, just get me someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. Fundamentally, that's what I want, man. They talk about Sesko like he's another Havertz. Hard, very, very harsh. Nobody's that bad. But to be harsh on Kai, if I'm honest, shame on you, Arsenal. Just lies and BS. Change the name of the club and sell it. I'm done. Tranquillo, people, man. Sesko with Gyokeres on the left wing will inject goals into that side, but we never move like that. Yeah, I'm not on that, man. I'd rather Sesko play out wide, but I'm not on that, man. Just put the strikers where they need to be. To be honest, seeing highlights of Zubimendi, and he's not that good. He's nowhere near Partey or Rodri level, to be fair. There's many midfielders that are nowhere near Partey or Rodri. I would love Valverde. I mean, Valverde and Camavinga would be amazing, but you know yourself, that's dream chasing. Sanchez of Bilbao gets injured a lot. If Partey leaves, who do you want in? Fuck, I don't know, we're in the spot of bother if that happens, because we then gotta get all the stuff we've been talking about in the first 35 minutes and more than. But I'd imagine, not saying it will be a guy that will be good and all that kind of stuff, but like it's late in the day with negotiations, or we're led to believe with Partey. They have to be able to pivot. By all means, Partey agrees to the new deal. If not, next guy comes in. And there's a lot of our fan base that actually want Partey gone. Havertz's position is always going to be an issue. I still couldn't tell you what his best position is. I can't lie. I think it's up front. I actually think there's a reality. Yeah, if Kai was fit, like you had Marino up front, I think Kai Havertz would have went in Odegaard's role because of his form. Obviously, they're two very different players, but he can mimic what Arteta wants in that role. Big up, bro. We need to change the club and sell it. I'm done with this PR ish. This is not good for our health, bro. Joke of a club. I feel sorry for every one of you. So just sell the club. But expecting a good transfer window at Arsenal is like jumping the sea knowing damn well you can't swim. Damn. Imagine if Sesko lives to the hype. We will have a decade of a great player who fits in our system. I hear that, but you really think he's going to do 10 years? We've seen it, but if he goes to the level he can, we're going to sell him for big money one day. Hopefully he could win stuff. Kills me how there's always an issue with finances, or we have to sell to buy attackers, but it's an opportunity for a goalkeeper or centre-back. We're right on. Watkins on his way out, not going to lie. If we can't get Gyokeres, I want Watkins. He's better than Kai and Jesus. That's facts. I take Watkins. His movement opens up defenses. I feel like Arteta has made mistakes, but he's learning from them. He's going to need to. Hopefully, Berta helps. More good ones, less bad ones. True. Smash the likes, folks, as well, man. How did Falcao do in the Prem? Stunk up the place. Big up, DG. I think most of us want Gyokeres, but some talk about Sesko as like he's another Havertz. Bro, they talk about Sesko. I want Gyokeres, but people are talking about Sesko like we're just buying some random guy at the pub. He's a good player, but at the end of the day, we can have our opinions. It's down to them to do it on the pitch. I hear the concerns. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you lot are right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying you lot are wrong. All you can do, do you know how fickle football is? Just do the job and everything's happy. Arsenal fans, we're acting like we don't see what's going on. Liverpool, United, City, Newcastle, and Chelsea will be back on top. It's looking scary. I don't see Arteta winning a single trophy. You do know that this is why Arsenal's a trophy drought, is because they like to do ish that adds additional time into a drought, such as keeping a player that needs to go, even if they're captain. You really think Odegaard needs to go? You do know that he's not going to be the captain next season. Odegaard's not going to be Arsenal captain next season. Take your word for it, man. Odegaard is a technical orchestrator and he's been dealing with no out-and-out striker. Once we had someone with the profile of Sesko, you'll see him reach a different level. I hear you, but with what I saw from Odegaard last season, I hear all of that, but you need to get yourself back in tune. Sulemana from Southampton, good player, but nah. I wouldn't cry if we got Watkins, but there's several things we need to do way before that. The price depends. Price depends on who. People swear they know everything, man. Bro, he was brought in to be a midfielder. Please stop telling me about the Leverkusen stuff, bro. Arteta persisted with my man up front. We saw what happened with the injuries and when he went. Please don't rewrite history. Gyokeres would boost fans, but I can see the reasoning with Sesko's. What happens when Sesko misses most of the chances? Strikers are going to be up there for big chances missed. It's always funny when people say with strikers. I've seen them say it with Gyokeres. I've seen them say it with Sesko. Oh, he's missing too many 1v1s. Fair play. We ain't winning nothing major with Kroenke's in charge. All they care about is money. Too many lawyers at the football club now. I swear Tim Lewis is an Arsenal fan. Seller. I know nothing about Tim Lewis apart from that Barnet, mate. Like, Sesko can bag or not, we can't know. The only fact we got is that Gyokeres is the right signing. But that's not even necessarily a fact. That's your opinion. And I want Gyokeres, but yeah. In my opinion, one of the net positives is that both City and Chelsea should be exhausted due to being overplayed this summer, Nations League and Club World Cup. We need to hit the ground running with whoever comes in. Boy. Kang Young Lee is leaving PSG. Arsenal should look at him instead of Sane. Every now and again, we're linked with him. Balemba would be cold, but you got to get them kind of man when they're at Leo. We know once they end up where they end up right now, which is Brighton, whether he's worth it or not, you know Brighton are saying, yeah, that's 100 mil. Yeah, that's 100 mil. We had to spend 50 million on Ben White off the back of one Premier League season. We know how much Cucurella, Caicedo, all them guys cost. Liverpool got a bit of a deal because I think there was a release clause in McAllister's contract, but they probably made substantial profit there. And there's probably other examples. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know it's peak when DG hasn't taken off his top during the stream. Have we played? Have we played? No, there's no football on, man. Allow me. DG, people think Zubamendi is tiny. He's 5'11". PSG lightweight midfield has dealt with the Premier League, but bro. All the football's a great game because people can have their legitimate concerns. People can have their legitimate pros and cons. People can do the irrational things, which some of these comments are. People can bitch about Sesko. Zubamendi's not good, this and that. If they're going to do the job, everybody shuts up. Sesko out wide would be incredible. Is Havertz the most beautiful player to have played for this club? No, but he's the most beautiful donkey who ever played for this club. Allow him, man. Yo, DG, this summer is low-key looking spooky. Are you concerned? I'm excited, concerned, and everything in between. Like I must admit, I'm at the point now where, in general, with Arsenal, love my team, love the boys, and all these stuff, but emotionally checked out. I'm at the stage of just show me now, innit? If you want to win a league, show me. I'm only gonna believe it now when I see it. Like I'm just here now, innit? Really and truly. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like it is what like it genuinely is what it is. It genuinely is what it is. A man said, big up love Arsenal, hate the up. Sesko is like Bitcoin. Nobody really knew about its value. Chelsea with an 80 million Gyokeres bid. Is that news? Has that come out now? Or are you just saying that be very helpful? You lot keep me up to date with anything that's emerging. That YouTube comment was aware. Excited. What do we have to be excited for, bro? We should be scared. It's football, innit? Like I like to consider the negatives and the positives, and I don't like to get too excited for no reason. I don't like to do the negative thing. I like to look at things for what they are. And what I see is a good team with some good foundations, with a lot of pros, but also many are negative. And a lot of things that I felt we're talking about now is talking about last year and even the year before. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. As I said, we got enough. If we want to win a couple of battles, not necessarily the war, we could do that. We could finish second. We could be in some semi-finals. We could compete and win on next year and all of that. But if you want to go to that next level and go from being a somewhat a good team to a great team, you know what needs to be done. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Expectations leads to disappointment. So show me, innit? Show me. Because I do think as we've moved to this Emirates era, there's been a lot of lip service. I feel we got into a stage where at least the talking off the pitch was correlating on it. When I look at not last season that's just gone, the year before, when I look at everything that was said the last day of the year, how the summer went and everything now, you need to show me now, innit? And not just me, you lot. It is what it is. I must admit, the way I feel, I don't expect us to win the league next year anyways. I'll change my opinion. And again, it is only June now. The year's flying, isn't it? Big up you lot. I think City, I've been saying this all season. I think Pep Guardiola is going to hit back. I think City are going to be first, Liverpool second, and us third. Of course, I want to be wrong. What happens there isn't like what happens, isn't it? So we have to see, man. We're still not at 100 likes, man. We get to 100 likes, we go over the transfer business. You don't know this. Sorry, where's that comment gone? This summer, Arteta should have been sacked and bring in a proven winning manager that would have lifted the fans. There's probably a number of fans that would have acted like he died, mate. God forbid. I support 5 teams heavy. The last championships for these teams go 2009, 2003, 1994, 1973, 1969. DG, can you rank these players in order? Saka, Kvaratskhelia, Rodrygo, Dembele. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, but some they're not playing in the same roles. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Saka, Rodrygo. I think people forget our team is already good enough to win. I disagree, because if it was good enough to win, we'd have won, bro. I think people forget our team is good enough to win. Get Zubamendi, Gyokeres, and a solid winger, and we're lifting the trophy. Seeing is believing, man. If we was good enough to win, we'd have won. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Rodrygo, Saka, blasphemy. Saka, Kvaratskhelia, Rodrygo, Dembele. Ooh. If we're going to buy players from RB Leipzig, it must be Openda and Simmons, not that Tesco guy. He's not even a top goal scorer in Leipzig. Saka over Rodrygo, 1,000,000%. Look at what he's done in the game. Big up Rodrygo. Rodrygo ain't done it for Brazil. I'm a Brazilian fan. He's done things at Madrid. Saka, are we going to eradicate history? I know he plays for Arsenal and all of these things. He's become a household name. He's done it in the Champions League numerous times. He's done it in the Euros twice. He's done it in the World Cup. Vinicius Jr. and Liam Bredin, please allow it. You can have flair, bro, but decisiveness. Doué, Gyokeres, Saka, forget the Doué thing. It would be lovely. Doué is a myth. Unless we got 100 million in a year or two. Just bring up Arteta and these signings and see how many have hit. It's been reckless. Berta, please. Berta, please. Amen. Berta, please. The earlier Arsenal fans start rising up against these chronic lies and perfect ownerships for our club, the better for us, bro. But what's that going to do? Because Arsenal fans can scream and shout and protest. And I'm not saying this is wrong and everyone's allowed to do what they want. But, I mean, the Cronkies have survived darker times, bro. Like, you're telling me you can't survive when your team's beating Real Madrid, beating, like, semi-finals, league shouts, all that stuff? Which is why I'm not even defeated or excited. I'm just here, man. Love the clubs. Whatever happens, innit? DJ, a couple of years ago, I would have liked Patrick Schick from Leverkusen. He would have been good for us. I think we should now cash in on Trossard to Saudi. Are we going to go and let him go without bringing someone in? I don't know. And it's gone quiet. There's been a bit of radio silence, to be fair. But have we not seen a lot of rumours around Trossard being given a new deal? We got 104 likes. Big up to you. A lot of promises are promised. Now we can go over what is... Yeah, fans are tired of it, but there's a lot of fans who love it. People who are saying it's too early to panic have obviously just discovered the club yesterday. Me. Hey, Chair. Take control of the conversation. I've just discovered Arsenal yesterday, man. Go on. What are you saying to that, Chair? Chair, what are you saying? You just found out about Arsenal. You're not panicking, but apparently I can't speak. Yeah, man. You saying, Chair, content creating, not your thing. Big up the Chair. Best attacking duo since Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry. I'm just mellow, man. Whatever happens, man. Maybe it's because of the fact that I've turned 30 and whatnot. And I've always, like I always say, I'm a fan of the game first, football second. And when I look at football for what it is, and when I look at Arsenal for what it is and whatnot, not even in a negative way, it's just it is what it is. I find myself, obviously we win, I'm excited, we lose, my feelings on the floor, but I'm quite stoic in it. Like, I'm only gonna get upset about variables that I can control. I can't control anything. I could do scream and shout around the Emirates, get a bit of dopamine because I feel like my opinion matters, maybe get some validation because people say I'm right or wrong, get some, I don't know what it'd be, but through talking with you lot, whether we agree or disagree, like having a good reasoning and whatnot. But beyond that, it wasn't going to change. I know what I would like to see, and I'm not a Premier League winner. I'm not even dissing Arteta, but I've watched football for a while now. I know what Arsenal lack. I know what we've got. I know what's required to win a title. And I don't feel these things are here at this moment in time in June. Maybe there'll be a day where I'm very bullish. I promise you, when I genuinely believe in my heart that we can do certain things, I will be the most boastful on this platform. Where it stands with Arsenal right now, I think we've got a good team, we can mount, but there's too many variables, external variables that have to fall in our favor. And in life, if you do need that in life anyways, but if you're looking at things like that, you're in trouble. And I need to know that this club is controlling the controllables, which starts with the transfer market and actually simultaneously continues with Mikel Arteta evolving this system. Because I know it's not sexy and glamorous. People are fucking forgetting there's so much that needs to be done on a tactical front. Clearly, I'm not dissing the physio. Something needs to be reviewed there. There's so much. When we do all of these things and exhaust everything we can internally and not just bury our heads in the sand and do this bullshit negative thing and pretending everything's happy as Larry, then I might change. Sorry, people, getting a bit heated, projecting my own. Like, I was getting flashbacks of many things. Sorry, people. I think I'm not perfect. Apologies. Vlahovic, worst comes to worst, man, but tired, man. Give me one striker from the Portuguese league that went to win something outside Portugal. You got to chat to them, man. Like, I'm not on that. Whoever came up with Benjamin Sesko is two jokes. I'm not going to lie. It's an amazing slander name. Amazing slander name. Like, there are some good slander names. To be honest, I'm an Arsenal fan first, then football fan when we're losing. That's you. Everybody's allowed to do what they want. I'm very tribal. Arsenal's like A's up till we freeze up, but I've always been a fan of football at its base level. Do you know how excited I get from walking in the park and freshly cut grass on Sunday League? I'm a fan of the game and an Arsenal fan second, and I think that's why I'm able to detach at times, man. But obviously, man, I'm emotional on that. I checked out for real. I can't do another title challenge run again. Now I feel like a Liverpool fan during the City run, but that man will get 90 points and that. I'm a Porto fan, and trust me, what Gyokeres done is nothing impressive. FC Porto had Jackson Martinez. I ain't heard his name for a minute. Top goal scorer, 3 consecutive seasons, went to a better league, Spain, and flopped. Typical Arsenal, very slow and lethargic and everything. Then later we end up with the third choice signings, not inspiring at all. But I don't think Shane's listening. I big up Shane. You've been commenting on my channel for a while, bro. You can't be talking to me about relaxing. Like, you keep saying this, and the more I know, the more you're commenting. Appreciate you, but what do you want me to say? And I think anyone that has listened to what I've said in this first 50 minutes, you can't tell me I'm moving mad and doing all these things. What's this I hear about man confirming frameworks before deciding which striker to pursue? I understand the frustration, but it makes sense in my opinion. But it only makes sense if you get one of them, man. Deluded Gooner, you have become, I can't say that word, bro. Apathetic to Arsenal, just like I have. Maybe change your name to Apathetic Gooner. If this club don't wake the F up, we'll lose Saliba, Saka, Rice, and Gabriel in a few years. Trust me, that's a possibility. But then I'm not saying it's right, but when I saw Patrick Vieira and Thierry Henry leave my football club, Dennis Bergkamp retire, nothing can hurt me again. We go again, innit? Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't want to sound blasé, but it's literally that. Major League Skelly clamps people. Rodrygo had no chance. Trust me. Trust me. No, Rodrygo's a baller. I need you. Hey, Rodrygo, I'm going to say this now. When we 2026 win the World Cup Brazil, nobody come back to us. The stars are aligned. You know how much Brazilian players are in great form, winning stuff now. Rodrygo and Vinicius, I need you two to turn up for Brazil. That's something you don't do. Now we got Carlo Ancelotti. It's crazy. You got to... Oh, where's your comment gone? You got to remember Arteta is an architect, so it's only fair he works on the framework of a transfer. Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you, Shane, man. Sometimes you don't got to be specific, as to what you're referring to, man. He defo didn't. But I hear it. Shout out Curtis. He defo didn't. Because I was hearing them little 12-year-old. I think they're like 12 years old. You know them slander names on social media, them idiots. Big up views for the raid as well. So yeah, man, it's a serious slander name. That Gooner blog article finished me. Same old PR. Kroenke out forever. Man are saying relax, like we ain't seen the same nonsense for 14 years under this ownership. That's why it's all calm, man. How long do you give? I won't call him fraud. We wanted Wenger out around the same time. I can understand why people want Arteta gone. Like the balanced fans, I can understand why they want him gone. I can understand why they want to keep him. Honestly, I think those, even some that are like mad, like, like Arteta around effing this and that. There are some legit points. There are some things that are undefendable, and people always try and gaslight you and sit here and say, oh, but you're entitled. I'm sorry, but that doesn't fly. You can say we're entitled. We're Arsenal Football Club. We've given a lot to the English game via Wenger and what he's done. And before people, that are older than me as well, we've won stuff 100%, but we've never been the big bad bullies winning everything. So you can't be entitled. Of course, there are a section of our fan base that are illogical. And them same people that gaslight you, they agree. I ask simple questions. Do you rate Mikel Arteta? Yes. You think he's done all these great things, which I'm not saying he's not. This is just where we're going to arrive at this conclusion. Do you think he's one of the best managers in the Premier League? They probably say yes. Do you think he's one of the best managers in the world? Is it fair to say, while we haven't won the Champions League, we're getting a lot of plaudits from the teams that were playing in the champs and a lot of respect and all of that? Do you rate Saliba, the Magalhaes, the Sakas, and all of these things of this world? Are you very quick to waffle about these crazy stats about how defending and more goals than the Invincibles and all of those fine-tuning stats that are not trophies? You do agree with that and you waffle with that and you say these things, yeah? And is it also fair to say, even just using this season as a case study, 2 semi-finals, went out on penalties in the FA Cup, we finished second, bit of a false image, but we finished second. Is it fair to say that we're within touching distance of things? They would probably say yes. So then is it fair to ask a question as to why silverware hasn't arrived in this 3-year period? Is that a mic drop? That's all I make content for people that kind of view things like that. But no one is caught up with hype. Hype is when your output doesn't match. Gyokeres is the one to purchase. If you select Sesko that hasn't even played as many seasons as Gyokeres and say is better, then where's the rest? You don't know 1 + 1 = 2. Where's Catch? Catch said 1 + 1 = 1 yesterday. Big him up. You don't need to check out that live stream. I'm in the process of cutting up clips there. Look what happened to PSG when the Galacticos left. I love the club more than them, man. It's true, but then they got a better team. People buying into stuff, and obviously you got Dembele and Kvaratskhelia and all them guys, which is great. But everybody's buying into the team ethos, and you still have you still got the Stardust. We never won everything, DG. That's the overstatement of the century, when Spurs 2 weeks ago hadn't won anything in 18 years and still won more than us in Europe. But the biggest failures Arsenal have made is in Europe, man. Like, Arsenal fans, young and old, Europe, unfortunately, is filled with pain in it. And I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I felt as a child. Well, I wasn't really. Well, I was a child, essentially. 2006, going into secondary school. Can remember that final vividly. I felt that was our chance. And when we got to the semi-finals, I felt that was our chance. And then I found myself thinking, I don't know when we'll be back here again. I don't know. I don't care who Arsenal signs. I just want them to get the right guy for the job. Tell them again, please. Whether he's a household name or an underrated talent, it doesn't matter. Everyone's caught up in the hype of a big name. Generally, I agree with the last statement. But see, comments like that is who I make content for. That is it. Of course, you can say, I want Gyokeres, I want Sesko, this and that. But fundamentally, that is where I'm at. And this is where I'm at show and prove mode, man. DG is a big Arteta fan. He just won't say it. Please, one thing that no one's going to stop me. I've said it numerous times. How many times have I sat here and said there's not a bigger fan of Mikel Arteta than myself? I'm just not going to suck his dick and say everything's great. Someone shoot me. You remove Arteta from Arsenal, there's a lot to like about him as a manager, his conviction, all the stuff he's done to get us to this point, and how he looks at football. I'd love to crack open a cold Ray and Neff with him and speak ball. Where my thing is, I care about my football club, and I feel people do too much and don't hold guys to the same standards. And I always say you can't rate Arteta because there's always some excuse. Fundamentally, it does fall with the manager, and I do think there's certain luxuries that weren't extended to Wenger. What a man telling me? What, someone gonna shoot me for rating Arteta? Man, don't need to lie. You can say I don't rate Arteta. I think he needs to leave. He's not the guy to get us over the line. But just because you believe that, and I actually don't think that's necessarily wrong. That's a big factor. Just because you believe that, it don't mean you have to lie and start saying, man, shit, and he's rubbish. He can't even manage. He couldn't manage his way out of a plastic bag. That's clearly a lie. Because you can't on one hand say we need a proven winner. He can't get us over the line. He can't do this. We're second. Okay, so if we've got to that point where trophies are genuinely within touching distance and you're criticizing him for that, that's not me to say keep him. You have to think he's a decent manager, don't you? Please stop chatting shit to me. Please. I know football can be very black and white and mundane, and it's quite jarring being a content creator because everybody just wants rage bait and bullshit. But come on now. Please. Really, we ain't got another 20 years, bro. We ain't got another 20 years. But like me, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, rightly or wrongly, man at the club are going to go home to their nice houses. They're getting paid peas. I'm going to be here. As some of you, God willing, we will live a long life. We're going to be here. Even if we go and win the Champions League for the next million years, obviously not, but the next 20 years in the Prem, we're going to be here for time, bro. We're going to be here long before Saka's, when Saka goes, etc. It is what it is, bro. Spoke my mind, bro. Spoke my mind, blood. It spoke my mind. The thing with me with Arteta, there's little isms and schisms as to things I nitpick, I don't like that you do, and things I would like you to improve at. But fundamentally, brother, you need to get over the line. That's where I'm at with Arteta. Cool, he's changed the club, he's done this, who would we get? You can have all of that. You can have all of them comments. My thing is, brother, get over the line. And I've said this, some of you have been following me for time. Every year you don't get over the line. I've said this, I said it last year, I said it the year before. Every year you've got us to this point now. And even if you were the guy just to steady the ship, like to put the foundations in the house, but not to install the wallpaper and whatnot and design it, that's cool. Every year that you don't get over the line, the question gets bigger and bigger, to the point now, where you have to you have to know what you're stepping into, innit? You genuinely have to know what you're stepping into. Let's be honest, rightly or wrongly, next season, if you don't win the Prem or the Champs, and even if you do win those, the goalposts are going to move. If you bring, and I'm not saying I just want silverware anyways, but I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm happy. I'm not necessarily happy with this year, but we all know if he brings a FA Cup, if he brings a League Cup, what am I gonna say? It's the majors. What are we hearing this year? Because rightly so, we didn't do it. A trophy's a trophy. You need to bring the big boy trophies home. I'm not just on this Mikel Arteta thing to the death thing. I'm not on it. I'm not on it. And I think if you're on that, I'm not saying you can't believe in him and think he can get over the line. That's your business. But if you're on it genuinely feels some people are more committed to hating Mikel Arteta. Some people are therefore I think some Arteta sexual, they'd rather shag Mikel Arteta than win the Premier and the champs, bro. And again, I feel if Arteta in these 3 years or even more, since we won the FA Cup, I do think we've given poor accounts of ourselves. If he picked up 1-2 of these League Cups, I'm not saying there wouldn't be pressure to deliver a major, but you kind of allow it. Going back to Sesko now, just using Sesko as an example, if you went and grabbed Sesko at last year maximum, or got him a few years before, people would have went with that. But now we're kind of in this win now mode. I can understand things, why people feel this way. And I hope it goes the way it needs to go, bro. Zubimendi has just come out and said he would stay at Sociedad. Where did he say that? Zubimendi, don't break my heart. My aim heart. I don't wherever was that on the cartoon? Hey, Zuba. You know what, Zubimendi, do your thing. Better pivot. If that is true, just make sure I get what we need. Midfielder, left wing, striker, bro. Just make sure what needs to arrive arrives, bro. That's all I want to hear, bro. That's all I want. Big up a dash of sports. Arsenal should go for both strikers just to shut the fan base up. Brother, there is no hate. I love the club, but I'm tired of this guy. I'm ashamed of his persona at interviews representing our club and the way we play. It's horrible, solid defense, but that's it. Fair play. You're allowed to say it. That's fair. You can have those thoughts. I ain't no Mikel Arteta attacker. I'm not no Mikel Arteta defender. You ain't shown me enough to back you religiously. I just feel in life, right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say something I don't believe. I'm not going to sit here just for clicks and engagement and tell you I think Mikel Arteta is mad shit. Likewise, I'm not going to tell you Arsenal are so amazing. We're dominant. We're the best team in the Champions League, like the manager said. I don't agree with that. We're in that weird middle spot. Let's be real. Arteta's had his chance. He isn't winning anything next season, so might as well sack him now. And again, I don't feel we're going to do that. But I can understand and empathize with why people feel like that. On this platform, you're allowed to think what you want, you know. I disagree. Any established gaffer, given the money, time that he's been given, will do better, win a trophy. Look at Ange. I'm not going to agree with the Ange bit for obvious reasons, Toby. But again, I can't disagree with that. When we talk about silverware, please explain why so many fans aren't satisfied with winning the League Cup. I don't get that only the champs or league is enough. Winning breeds success. It's true, but that, like I said, over this course of while Arteta has been here and since we've won the FA Cup, we've not been. Let's be honest, we've been abysmal in the cups, the domestic cups. If we was picking up them, I still think there'd be pressure, but we'd allow it. And again, if we're meant to be that good, I think there's genuine reason as to, well, a genuine question as to, why ain't you, man, done it? I don't think we're going to dominate. Like, big up a guy. I love a guy. I'm going to be on his platform at 3. Like, I remember a few weeks ago, we was talking and he said Arsenal are set up for domination of the league for the next few years. I said, respectfully, I disagree. Unless you're going to do the City thing, domination for me is, let's just say there's 5 years in the Premier League, like the next 5 seasons, Arsenal are going to win minimum 4 of those. Or there's 6 years, we're winning 5. And then the 1 year you might not win it, you might win the champs. I don't see us ever being that. Of course, that should be the ambition. Of course, I want to be wrong. Every fan of every club wants to win every game, every trophy, be the biggest and baddest in the land. That's just not the way the cookie crumbles, lad. Hey, James, one love for the super chat, my boy. It'd be so jarring if Spud signed Eze. Been one of my favorite players to watch for a hot minute. Some ITKs, I can't find it right now, are saying that actually there's logic behind that, and it's 90% done. Last year, was he not a signature away for signing from them? I'm sure, to the point where don't quote me, but Eze was pictured at the ground. He was at Spurs' ground towards the end of the season. So they probably picked up where they left off. I love it. I got love for a guy, man. The guy's a madman, though, man. He's crazy. But this is why on my platform, like, I'm quite level-headed. I like to think, I bet you I'm a centralist. I'm not just going to make content around that. Like, we're going to have centralists. We're going to have extremes. We're going to have, the guys that glaze Arteta, ridiculous. That mirrors life, bro. If I go in my WhatsApp group chat right now and you look the same, everybody's got friends that behave like that. And that's what football is. It's everyone's allowed to put up an opinion, whether you got a massive following, you're a celebrity, or you're just Joe Bloggs, who's a construction worker and just watches football and doesn't care about social media. Are you worried about any tactical stagnation going into next season? Yes, because I feel, especially with the attackers, signing the attackers is only half the job. And I feel it's a double-edged sword in that we've established ourselves now. Yeah, people can laugh at us. Yeah, we ain't won trophies, but come on now, when we cut the crap, we got a good team. You know, it's a long day at the office if you play Arsenal. The rival managers in the footballing world say it. We're known for a distinctive way of playing. Now, the catch-22 of that is you kind of quote unquote been found out, like with the low blocks, which we've known for the last 2 years. Next season will be 3 years, man. Stop giving Arteta rope. Huh? And yeah, my man needs to win, bro. Next season, winning the league is the bare minimum for Arteta. Any less, he has to go no excuses. But then again, we got to remember, which is why I've kind of checked out, even if that's right, because I'm not saying it's right and I'm not saying it's wrong. Are the Cronkies, because if you're thinking about, if Arteta, like imagine you're the Cronkies and you're like, if Arteta don't win the league, I like him, he's doing well, not a negative thing, but I like him. But if he don't win the league, I'm clipping him. You got to be drawing up whoever the manager is, the established, experience, new kids on the block, like how Arteta was. You've got to be writing down lists now, having indirect conversations from now. You can't just, are the Cronkies going to do that? Pardon me. Last September, he signed a new deal for what? 15 million a year. Are they going to pay out his compensation package and his coaching stuff, and obviously give the new manager what he wants? And the new manager, as we know, has to be given the right to a degree to rip up the squad, quote unquote. I'm exaggerating, but what if he says, I don't want Declan Rice? What if he says, I don't want Saka? What if he says, I don't want Raya? Exaggerating, I know, but you're going to have to give the man the luxury to do what needs to be done. That's just me, though, man. But yeah, man, moving on, though. Apparently, Gyokeres has already decided his future, people. Defined the future. He's decided to return to England, really. Apparently, he's out of the Sweden squad. Official reason is injury. Unclear whether that's an injury or an injury. Maybe a nasty case of transferitis. I don't know, man. We're seeing it all. You would have seen Gunner blog say Arsenal explored the parameters of deals for Viktor Gyokeres and Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal's leadership group have debated the merits of both players. If they made a clear decision on their preference, they're keeping it close to their chest. If it is to be Sesko, Leipzig would prefer an early sale, having missed out on Champions League qualification. There's a financial shortfall for Leipzig to meet. Gyokeres, however, may be the cheaper overall package. So Gyokeres might be cheaper with now mode. Obviously, Sesko is going to be more expensive. You've been scouting him for a while, potential, all of that. They both have pros and cons. I'm happy with either one, as I keep saying, people, but I'm a broken record. In wide areas, Arsenal have explored a number of options. Senior figures at the club have held talks with Leroy Sané. The expectation has been that Sané would renew with Bayern Munich, but Arsenal are an alternative if he decides to move on. What do we make of Sané? Arsenal's coaching staff are also keen admirers of Rodrygo. However, the numbers associated with a hypothetical deal would be challenging. And I must admit, maybe, I don't know, but at some point, you're just going to have to commit to, if you want them kind of players there, you have to pay the P's and think of a way to do it. Arsenal's interest in Nico Williams is long-standing, while Anthony Gordon is another who the club like, but who would command a high fee. While there has been a lot of speculation about the left flank, Arsenal may need a player who's an option on the right. Stop taking the piss. Wanyeri can play there. I don't even know who the new winger is if we get one, but you can play there. Trossard can play there. Martinelli can play there. We are not going to sign someone that's predominantly playing on the right. Let's stop all of that. We need to be getting a left winger, let alone a right one. Wanyeri can play there, and as we know, he's been earmarked for a central position. Martin Zubimendi's move to Arsenal is effectively agreed, depending on a medical, but fans may have to wait for confirmation. Real Sociedad have expressed a preference for the deal not to be ratified until July for accounting purposes. So we got one more month. Arsenal apparently have allocated funds to Mertesacker to enable him to strengthen the academy this summer. Partey's been linked with a new contract at Arsenal. He's also been linked with Barcelona, people. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Sammy Motbell on Gyokeres and Sesko has said, my information is that Arsenal are working towards confirming the frameworks of both deals before making a final decision which to proceed with. Sesko has near universal backing at the club, but crucially will be the more expensive deal. Gyokeres' chances of moving to Arsenal have increased since Berta's appointment. Price is key here. Sesko ticks many boxes in terms of profile. He's younger and plays in a stronger league according to recruitment data. Gyokeres is more economical, but would see the club divert from their long-term strategy, given Sesko has always been the target. Sesko will leave Leipzig this summer, as Romano has said. Last week, Arsenal had the first concrete talks for Sesko. Arsenal spoke to Leipzig and had direct conversations with the agent of the player. Smash the like button. Arsenal started to understand the whole situation around Sesko, contract terms, player value. I'm told it would be worth less than the reported 100 million euros. Now, there's still nothing agreed as of today between Arsenal and Sesko, but there's contact ongoing between all parties involved. I think making contact for Sesko is showing how concrete Arsenal's interest is. How can we sign the player? I think this was the most pointless but funniest bit of the article as well. Raheem Sterling has not yet been officially notified that his time at Arsenal will not be extended, but the expectation is he will leave this summer. No news is good news. I mean, his son's just signed for Arsenal's academy. Is there a coaching job going, Sterling? We've gone over the medical stuff, people, and whatnot with Martin Zubimendi. I would love Mbeumo. Apparently, Brentford may ask for a higher fee for Mbeumo after claims he's decided to join Manchester United. They plan to play hardball over 60 million. He's probably going to get serious wages. Apparently, Chelsea have reportedly indicated their desire to trigger the 58 million release clause in Nico Williams' Athletic Club contract following talks with his agent. By now, you could actually probably just take Chelsea's name out and put Arsenal, and the article would ring true. We're led to believe we was apparently the front runners for the Spanish international. We got 11 goals and 7 assists in 45 appearances last season. The Barcelonas, the Bayern Munichs, the Uniteds, the Real Madrids have all been interested. Ernesto Valverde did hint that he could stay at Bilbao because they're now in the Champions League. Kind of echoes what was said last year about, he wants to play in Europe. Apparently, his wage demands are said to be 400 million, definitely not 400,000 euros. What's that? 300 odd. I don't think he knows what he wants to do. And if he does know what he wants to do, I think it's the Barca thing now. Great player. Let's just pivot and go elsewhere. According to Ben Jacobs, Bilbao have began initial talks with Nico Williams to renew his contract. Discussions include a deal that would increase his current 58 million release clause and push the player's salary towards 10 million euros a year. Makes sense if you're Bilbao on top of wanting to keep a good player. And it is a World Cup year, so maybe that's reason to stay put or leave generally for players. You should be getting a lot more than 100 million for a minute. So we'll see what happens there. He's reportedly in talks to sign a new contract despite significant interest from Arsenal. At this moment in time, he's got 2 years left on his deal. Apparently, Chelsea held talks with his reps over a move at the weekend. He's the primary target of both London clubs. Barcelona and Real Madrid are also known admirers of the 22-year-old. Ben Jacobs has said Nico Williams has begun initial talks to renew his Athletic Bilbao contract. Parties discussing a salary pushing 10 million euros. Release clause could increase should a deal be agreed, not yet a guarantee. Suitors like Arsenal and Chelsea see value in Williams' current 58 million euros clause, and he remains on their radar, but overall cost of the transfer, wage and agent fees make it expensive. Athletic Bilbao are hoping they can tie Williams down before any offers come in. Good player, but I don't want to hear this no more. Shout out Gabriel Jesus. He's training at his old club, Palmeiras, as he aims to recover from his long-term injury. On Nico Williams, Romano said a dream target for Chelsea and Arsenal is Nico Williams, but it's very expensive. The player is still not given any indication about where he wants to go. Fuck him then. Pardon my language, man. And again, I'm being harsh, Nico, because you could be telling Arsenal, Chelsea, Bilbao, Real Madrid, Barca, Bayern, Newcastle, I want to sign for you. But fuck him, man. Because what I don't want is, we tried for Nico, but there's no left winger. Cool, go get me. I don't know. He's not at the same level, but Malik Fofana or something of Lyon or one of them little wild kids at Monaco or something. Anyone going for Jadon Sancho? I know I'm being silly, but apparently he's to leave Chelsea at the end of the loan, and Chelsea will probably have to pay 5 million. Apparently they couldn't agree terms about a renewal. Jack Wilshere is the front runner to become a manager of League One club Plymouth Argyle as well. People, Dharma Chef said, there is more certainty in Arsenal's executive structure following the appointment of Andrea Berta. As a result, Arsenal are expected to be very decisive in this transfer window, and I expect them to get their business done efficiently. What do we make of that, folks? Eze is an Arsenal fan. There's no way he's going to Spurs. Very naive, very naive. What team did Jermaine Defoe support? What team did Darren Bent support? When you're a footballer, you go where you can. If listen, if I'm a Premier League footballer like Eze, Arsenal haven't bidded nothing for me. The other clubs are not involved. I could stay in London, play in the Champions League with Spurs. I'm not trying to gas up Spurs. I'm going to give consideration to it. Being a fan don't mean much. This is a job, unfortunately. Yeah, bro, tired. What are the chances we give Sterling a permanent deal after signing his son? Bring him. Did you see the Zubimendi interview? We are not signing him anymore. Where is this interview? You lot keep speaking about it. Where is it? Point me to the right direction, man. Please. Where is it? Well, that might have to be for another stream. Can't see them thing there. Is this it? Or is this only it? My future, it will be a long summer. I don't know how it will end. If Xabi Alonso calls me to join Real Madrid, I've always said Xavi is my idol. It was a privilege to have him as my coach at La Real B. If he called me now, I don't want to talk about I'm just going to say hypotheticals, hypothesis, I think. I'd rather talk about the future. It'd be disrespectful to talk about that while I'm on national duty. I've posted pics on the Spain bench while rumours said I'm in London doing medical exams for Arsenal. Yes, I did make it clear those rumours were not true. Is this it? Well, brother, Zuberman, if you don't sign for us, my guy, things have to happen, bro. It's cool if that's what you want to do. If listen, go and live your life, man. But other than the players on City, I feel players coming from the German league always flop nowadays. If Partey goes, we need Bruno G. Is this real? I mean, you lot are seeing what I'm seeing, innit? You lot are seeing it there, innit? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I thought when you lot said it was an interview, I thought there would have been a lot more, man. Players don't care about fandom. I get paid to play. It's a job, bro. And if I was a footballer, like if I played for Arsenal, if I came through any academy and whatnot, I would love the club, immerse, love the fans, but it's a job, bro. You lot love me as long as I'm useful. The minute I become useless, either to the manager or I'm like 32, I want a 3-year deal, you don't want to give me that, safe. It is what it is. I'm not criticizing Real Madrid. Luka Modric was begging to stay at Madrid. They said, we're going in another direction. Forget all of that, man. If I live for your applause, I'm going to die by your booze. Nah, big up your gal, man. Oh shit, it's 2 minutes past 3. It's 2 minutes past 3, man. What is he meant to say? I don't know what he's meant to say, but yeah, I hear that. But we'll have to see. All I'll say with Zubimendi is cool. If you don't want to sign, don't sign. Arsenal find something for Arsenal and Berta. I was hearing this is done in January and all of that. I hope it is. You see, if it's not, make sure we're able to pivot in it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Make sure we're able to pivot. I'll cut up the transfer news part of this live stream for you lot, people. I'm just cautious of time. I was meant to be on the gal stream 2 minutes ago, so I'm gonna love and leave you lot as usual. Your opinions, your differences of opinions. You know I love you lot, especially as it's the off season. You lot keep supporting the thing, man. Please make sure you're smashing the like button and all of that kind of good stuff. Check out the other bits and pieces. Again, turn on your notification bells because there's always videos and cut up clips and whatnot and live streams when there's time to speak about stuff. But for now, you lot stay safe, stay blessed. In a bit.